Dina Does. I'm Dina, and I know a little bit about a lot, but I want to know more. So join me on this path to self-discovery. On today's Dina Does, we're answering your questions from Instagram, and this is Housewife Edition. We're here with Katie.
Hi.
Those of you who may recognize Katie from Latte Larry's days. So Katie, I decided that even though it is Mercury retrograde and Friday the 13th.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. Oh, great.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the best time to be answering some of these crazy questions that came in, but we're just going for it.
Okay, yeah, the Q&A, these are my favorite episodes. I told you, so I'm so excited to do this.
And you bring out the wise ass in me. So I figured Maya's very she's like me. She's like mellow and zen. And I figured that a lot of these questions deserve wise ass answers. So that's why Katie's here.
Okay. Well, let's jump right in then. So these are from your Instagram. People asked you these questions.
Yes, they're from my Instagram as a result of a big media push on hashtag Nina Manzo, because people just don't get it that now for 5 years I've been married. My new last name is Canton. They're still using Manzo, but I still have the Google alert and things are out of control. So it's combination.
Oh, you're coming up in like the media a lot?
Yes. Oh. Yes. As a matter of fact, today's Google alert was why is everyone talking about Tina Manzo?
And she doesn't even exist anymore. It's so weird.
She's been
gone for a while. Okay.
But anyway, so these are a combination of the questions that came in on Instagram, DMs that I've been getting, and they're not even all of them. We're just kind of narrowing them down because my computer may die in the middle of this and we might have to do a round two. So
let's see what the people want to know. Okay. Well, I guess this is kind of an interesting one. Obviously, everybody knows that you had a horrible thing happen to you with a home invasion. Mm-hmm. And recently, Dorit from the Beverly Hills Housewives has come out and I guess talked a little bit more about her experience because the season is coming up soon, right?
Well, it just aired. That's why everyone asked.
I guess
this question.
I'm kind of with it, but not that. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm a little old. All right. So how do you feel about Dorit filming the day after her home invasion when you went dark for so long after yours?
This is an interesting question. And again, I didn't think about any of these answers. So these are like off the cuff. First of all, everyone deals with trauma differently. I am a very sensitive person. So I just had to curl up in my ball to process everything. I did not watch the episode. I knew it would be triggering for me. Plus I really don't watch TV, but I was curious to see. Lexi sent me a little clip of her talking about it. Listen, she was already filming and she made a commitment, I guess, to film. B, again, people are different. I don't know what sign she is, but she's obviously a lot stronger than I am. And I think there was a different dynamic because even though it's super traumatizing to have a gun held to you and, all of what happened, her children, my gosh, her children were in the house. I think the physical aspect, because I was beaten, was very...
Right. You were physically recovering even.
Yeah.
So maybe it was, obviously there's a lot of recovery with all of it, but it's just.
So everybody processes trauma differently. I give her, it's great for her. It's a lot of strength to do that because I'm sure a part of her just wanted to stay in bed, but she wanted to make life normal for her kids from what I understand and keep it going. I would love to have her on the podcast and discuss it and how she processed it and what kind of therapy she got. Mm-hmm. What's funny? Thinking about it now, I think 2 days after it happened, I got a phone call from one of the producers of Housewives of New Jersey because they were in production. And she was like, hi, this is whatever from Housewives production. We were hoping to get you on a phone call with Teresa to discuss your incident. And I got so angry because I literally...
they wanted to film you talking about your incident, in light of the Dorit
I wasn't
thing.
even no. This was when it happened.
Oh, right afterwards.
Yes, 2 days after it happened, they wanted me to be on speaker while Teresa was filming. That's
ambulance chasing of the highest order.
I this woman, I apologize to whoever she is because I was the biggest bitch.
They're
I'm
look,
are you
it's good
fucking
TV.
Kidding me? Because I answered it because I didn't recognize the number. And we were a lot of follow up with the police asking questions and stuff. So I saw a New Jersey number. So I answered it and it was her. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't even get out of bed. And you're asking me to film it. I hung up on her, but like,
wow, that is kind of like, that's pretty bold, but
Yeah.
you know, maybe some people would have gone for it, I guess.
Exactly.
Like it's just yeah. So she
Yeah.
was just taking a chance.
She was.
On the wrong girl.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Well, we're gonna have to go down this path. I don't know if it's uncomfortable, but what's the real scoop with Teresa's engagement party with Dolores?
This is why my Google alert is blowing up. Like, I guess the reunion covered one part of it, and then Teresa did an interview another, and then Dolores did an interview another, and now everyone's like saying like, what's the real story? So you know me, I'm going to tell the real story. Teresa, obviously Dave and I were there for the engagement, the actual engagement. We were in Greece with them when it happened. We were a big part of it. You know, we knew before Teresa knew. And then Teresa said, you know, Dee, I'm having this party, engagement party, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And right away, my heart sunk, because what a lot of people don't understand is I had not been back to New Jersey at all from 2009 during the pandemic at all. But even before that, from after my incident, it was like I ran in maybe 3 times total since 2017. And that was to see my mom.
Yeah.
And I spent the summer in the Hamptons with my dad, and to spend some time with Dave's children here and there. But it's like I run into New Jersey and run out as soon as I can. So for me to go to this event, first of all, was a huge deal emotionally and PTSD wise and everything, because if you guys remember, the incident happened on the night of Teresa's small dinner party for Adriana's christening. So it was a little too close for comfort. Like, here I am going back east for an event for Teresa that everyone was going to know about. So my initial instinct was like, Teresa, I love you. Oh, I love you. I was there at the engagement. I don't think I need to be there for the party because it's hard for me to go to New Jersey, and it was a little too like real, like going to a party, whatever.
Right.
So I told Dave, I'm like, I can't do it. We'll go to the wedding and I have time to prepare for it, but I can't do the engagement party. So anyway, she called me and she's like, no, you're coming. This is part of your therapy. You are coming to New Jersey, and this is a great reason, and you're going to be safe. And I promise you're going to be fine. So I was like, okay, fine. Now I was thinking it was going to be like a big engagement party. So then I hear it's going to be a little intimate dinner. So
was that better?
I mean, it was better in a way where like a lot of people wouldn't know about it. Whereas like that's what kind of worries me, is like when everyone knows something's going on, everyone knows I'm going to be in New Jersey. But when I thought it was going to be a small thing, like right away, I know she's, you know, filming and she's been closer to Dolores. And let me first say that Dolores and I have been in the same room since our falling out of friendship. We didn't have this huge fight. We both saw each other at Teresa's mother's funeral. We were so nice to each other. As a matter of fact, she was talking about Frankie. Little Frankie was doing something in California. I said, let him stay with me. She met Dave. It was very cordial, very nice. I was happy to pick up where we left off. Yeah, it was fine.
So it was not a big deal.
No. And I saw her one other time, I guess at Lauren's wedding before I left abruptly. But I saw her there. And again, very nice, very cordial. So it's not about me and Dolores needing to be in the same room and what's going to go down. I think Dolores and I are very much the same way, in that we're not going to make a scene. We put Teresa first. It's not about that. It's just about, I was really uncomfortable, being on the East Coast for an event like that. And it was the first time I had been back since my dad died. He died in 2020, April 2020.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to go visit his gravesite, and I wanted to go see my mom, the first time I saw her since my dad died. So I knew it was going to be a very emotionally charged trip.
There's a lot going on.
And I cried for like the 2 days going into it, up to if you look at pictures of the engagement party, I was just like somber. It was just like a very,
oh my God.
It was just like,
went to my dad's grave, granted, there's a lot. Yeah. Okay. So the Dolores piece wasn't her biggest problem.
Dolores piece wasn't the biggest problem, but it was there. So I did say to her, when I found out it was going to be a very small, intimate party, and she was saying like, oh, the girls from the show are going to be there. And what people don't understand is, yes, her and Dolores have known each other for 20 some odd years, but they weren't friends. Like Teresa and I have been friends. They were acquaintances, and they became close once she started filming for the show again. Much like, Teresa and I discussed on my episode. But Teresa and I are like friends and have been friends
Yeah.
since we're 20 something years old. Her daughter's godmother. Dave and Louie are very close. And at that time, I assumed she knew that they wanted Dave and I in the engagement party, I mean, the wedding party as well.
Okay, right.
So I said to her again, T, I know I said this before, and I'm not going to lie. It wasn't just this. It was, again, my fears were coming up. And I said, listen, there's some people that are very intertwined in the Manzo family. And, you know, Dolores and her family are very much intertwined. And I don't feel comfortable with that. I just don't feel comfortable with that.
Right. And given
And
everything else. That's
yes.
Okay.
So I said, I 1,000% want you to have everyone that you want there. I'm going to bow out. You know, I really wanted to bow out at that point. And I'm like, Teresa, please, I was at your engagement. I will be at the wedding. And she was like, okay. So then she spoke to Louie and she called me back. She's like, Lou and I just discuss it. And you and Dave are close to both of us. And this is where the piece at the reunion comes in. She was like, we really want people there that know both of us and love both of us. At the wedding, we'll have everyone's individual. Dolores only met Louie a couple of times. They like each other, but they're not close. We never double dated. Nothing.
Right.
So that's where that aspect of the reunion came in.
Okay.
So she was like, we discussed it and we really want you and Dave there, and Dolores will understand. So that's the story.
Yeah, it's Teresa's choice at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, okay. So it wasn't you. You didn't.
No. It wasn't anyone. It wasn't Dolores. It wasn't
like a lot of
Teresa.
things.
It was a lot
on.
of things.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you know, it's always hard with those events because people have to consider, if I invite this one, then I have to invite these people. And then it's like
2 tables.
You know,
it was
especially
2
when
tables.
it's small. It's like you
and
really
that's
have
another
to
thing
like,
that I'm gonna support Teresa on. And I'm not a Teresa like kiss ass. Lexi, stop FaceTiming. Look.
Oh, it's like we're on Latte Larry's again.
We are filming an episode.
Wow.
Or I'll call you back.
I feel like you said,
my battery's dying.
I think that Lexi sensed that we were podcasting without her and she was like aggressively trying to join in.
Oh no, that's my next call, Lexi. We're scheduling for June. You're going to be on.
We want to tell all, Alexi tell all.
She has a very busy schedule. Okay. Love you. Peace. She has a very busy schedule. So anyway, Melissa was saying, first of all, Melissa, that was not cool that she brought it up at the reunion.
Brought up Teresa's engagement party?
Yes. Because I again, didn't watch people send me clips where she was like, oh, not invite Dolores out of blue, like knew it was a tender subject.
Yeah, just whatever. Like it was just not
it
cool.
had
already been dealt with.
And there were 2 tables, 2 long tables, and Teresa did not throw this party. I believe it was Louie's assistant, who's lovely, Jessica. We love her. She's amazing. That coordinated the whole thing.
Okay.
So she was just kind of putting the family together. Dave and I, again, Louie and Dave, you know, Dave's in the bridal party. So that's, I think, why we were at the main table. And it was.
Oh, so they were talking about the seating arrangements and everything?
Melissa was at the next table. It was only 2 tables. So like, what are you going to stack everybody on top of each other?
Oh, so Melissa was mad about her seating?
Yes.
Assignment.
Yes. So Teresa didn't. From what I understand, Teresa had nothing to do with this party. She showed up. There was rumors that I threw the party. I did not throw the party. I had nothing to do with it. I showed up. It was a lovely dinner. But we showed up. We actually went to the wrong restaurant first, Dave and I. We were like, is there?
You're like, where's everybody?
Anyway, next question.
Okay. All right. Well,
wait, were we still finishing that?
I think that was the scoop with Teresa's engagement party with Dolores.
Yeah,
I think
and
you
at the
answered
end
it.
of the day, it's her freaking party. She can invite whoever she wants and disinvite whoever she wants. Stop
True.
giving people a hard time about their parties. It's their party.
I know, and it is really obnoxious because it's expensive at a certain point too. Like you can't invite everyone you ever met, especially Teresa knows so many people.
She wanted it meaningful. She wanted it like for her and Louie.
Right.
So, like,
I mean, like that's a good point that you guys know them as a couple.
Yes.
And that's like a big part of the
and so did everybody else in that room knows them as a couple.
Sounds like a reasonable outcome. Was Dolores mad about it? Like I don't even know anything about
I think the latest thing is that she said
insulted?
her feelings were hurt.
Okay. And so, but are her and Teresa still friends?
Yes.
They're still okay. So they didn't like have a big falling out or anything. Here's a little softball question for you. What was your favorite part of being on the Housewives?
My favorite part. We did some fun stuff. Like I like back then, Jersey always gets the shitty end of the stick with girls trips. Like we went to freaking Atlantic City and like Boca. Everyone goes to like freaking exotic places.
I know where these ladies would love to visit.
But those trips were always fun. I was only on 2.5 seasons, so we didn't take that many trips, but those like events were fun before it became so like you have to kill each other on this vacation.
Okay, fair enough. And then on that housewife note, what's your biggest regret, if you have any, about leaving Housewives?
Hmm, my biggest regret. I guess it's not about leaving, but my biggest regret during while being on was being so sensitive. It was hard because it was family, but
Yeah,
looking back now, I wish I had a little tougher skin with like some of the stuff that I saw people say in interviews and be like, okay, not take it personally. Now I'm very much aware of
yeah.
how people do things because it's a reflection of what's going on with them and it has really
So
nothing
you
to do
have
with you.
more
But
patience for that. Yeah.
yes, but
But then that
then
wouldn't make you a good housewife.
well, I'm not a good housewife for that reason because
Right.
I'm
Because
not
you're too
reactive and
like,
I'm
yeah.
rational
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Okay. Well then, so no real regrets then.
no.
I
I
mean, it
mean,
was a
I
good,
probably would have stayed on longer had I not been taking things so sensitively. Because my
yeah,
family was like falling apart before my eyes, and I wish I could have been more like I don't know, stronger through it and
that's fair.
like kind of set my boundaries and stay on because it is an amazing platform when you
Yeah.
handle it correctly. And I'm grateful my following has really still stayed with me, but that's not usually the case.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So you've made like a lot of connections through that platform, but then, you don't wish you were still on.
No.
Everyone
No.
always asks though.
No. I know, right?
Well, maybe one day. Okay. What do you think you would be, or excuse me, who do you think you would be friends with in real life out of all the franchises of Housewives?
The first one that pops in my head is Cynthia Bailey because she's a fellow Pisces and she's kind of like, I feel like she's like the Atlanta version of me. Like when I would watch, I was like, okay, I can
You
relate
felt
to
like a
her.
connection, like,
And I
yeah.
didn't really watch I don't watch all of it.
Have
When
you
I
met her in
did,
real life or no?
I don't even know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. But when I watched it, because back in the day, I used to watch New York, Beverly Hills, OC, and Atlanta. So she was the one I related to in Atlanta. New York, who did I relate to? Who is the New York, the Dina of New York? My God, what's her
I don't
name?
even know. I never really watched it, but I
I
feel
mean,
like
I
they were
know
a little
Sonia
more,
in
they
real
weren't
life,
really
and
Dina
she's
like.
just so funny. And people don't have to be like you to get along, but
Yeah.
Sonia's
Yeah.
great. I love her. Kyle's seems like, we know each other. We've met each other a few times in person and Instagram friends, but I think I could be friends with her. She's down to earth enough. Um, I guess it's just some of like the ones that are super out there that are just
But
like,
you often have friends like that.
isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah,
So
because it's fun. You get to go out with friends like that and you could just sit and watch and be entertained without having to like get up and dance on the table.
So maybe you would really choose like the crazy ones.
Yeah, probably. It's an interesting question.
That's probably your style. Okay, let's see here. Would Dave ever film a scene with Louis since they're friends?
I'm gonna say probably not. That's a Dave question anyway, but knowing yeah, I'm gonna say probably not.
Not interested in
I
being
mean,
on the
what the
Housewives.
shame of it all is Dave would be an incredible house husband because he's got such a big Dave on a Dave level. Wouldn't he be like the best TV ever?
That could be very entertaining. There's some people that really do need that platform, I think. So hopefully one day, but not that I mean, Jersey, yeah. So he's in Jersey from time to time. He could do it.
He could do it, but I don't know. I guess you have to ask him, but I probably wouldn't want him doing it. Let's put it that way.
It's a slippery slope, I'm sure. Okay. And then these are all housewife related. Okay. Would you ever do a housewife girls trip episode?
Oh yeah. That
would be fun, right?
Well, I was asked to do the one that's airing now.
Oh yeah. I heard that was like a pretty
intense
situation.
I didn't do it. I just, there's things that I can't talk about, obviously.
Like pending things you're talking about? Okay. So then that's like a big part of what they would want you to get into.
Yeah. And I don't want to talk about it. I'm not like completely
and like your family and all that.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing they'd want to get into.
Exactly. So it's not something that I can control where like, you're not allowed to ask me this question or
right. If you're not going to be willing to be open, then
and I'm just not ready. And always I'm not ready to talk.
Yeah, like what would be the benefit of doing it?
Nothing.
Like just the experience and like it would be like just fighting people.
That's what I said to myself. I'm like, thank God I don't need the money.
Yeah.
I'm not like I'm, promoting anything huge. I mean, now
Right.
that like if I had this big, huge thing coming out and I want
Then
people
maybe
to
that
know
would be
about, I mean,
cool.
I
Yeah.
want you to know about Dina does, but it's not worth putting my life on the line.
It's not worth like coming to blows with some chick. Yeah. I mean, obviously that is a
I
big
mean,
consideration.
the only reason why I really want to do it is I want to see Dorinda's house. Like I want to see.
Yeah.
What
I
is
mean,
it called?
just for like
Something
the
Stone
fabulous,
Manor. What's it
the
called?
fabulousness of it all.
Yeah, like when I used to watch the show, that's was like I just like, oh my god, look at that artwork. Is that wall really blue? Like I Grace,
There's
is
like
it
just
Bluestone. Bluestone.
Oh, okay. So hearing
Yeah,
that.
that's what. And Dorinda is another one I would definitely be friends with in real life. Like I think that she and I speak the same language.
Yeah. So really it probably wouldn't happen for you, but maybe in the future. You're not ruling it out totally.
I don't rule anything out. I've learned that lesson.
Yeah.
I never say
that'd be a silly thing to do.
Yes.
Okay. But you're not regretful that you didn't go on the trip. You don't have FOMO.
No, I have no FOMO.
No FOMO on the trip.
No, I just want to know who replaced me.
Oh yeah, because they were like gunning for you.
One, yeah.
Oh wow. So somebody was someone was second string.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, if you had to choose one franchise to join, which would you choose and why?
I'm gonna say people were gonna think I'm gonna say Jersey, but it's not Jersey.
I would never think you would say that.
Oh, well, I think
you literally just said how much you hate the state of New Jersey and how you literally had a panic attack upon entering the state line. So I don't think so. Maybe Orange County, since you live in California.
I do live in Orange County. That would make sense, but I'm going to go ahead and say Beverly Hills because there was a time and we discussed it that we did like when I first moved here and Andy and I kind of talked about it for a minute. And I spoke to the higher ups of Bravo. We had a meeting and I was like, I just don't want to be like, it was when Erica Jane just joined and I was just like, I don't want to be like the one who like the quote unquote poor chick, but we were not poor by any means, but
not like
that,
living like this outlandish life. Like you don't get all dolled up to go shopping and it's a lot. That would be like a little bit difficult.
No. So
you could have brought your A game.
Yeah, I mean, I could always bring my A game now, you know, but
I could see you doing it.
But I would be like the Denise Richards.
What would you be doing? Gardening?
Yeah, exactly.
Arranging crystals and like, and then they would. I mean, somebody would have to fight with you about something.
Well, I'm sure they would find a way. And I could hold my own, but it's
not your preference.
No, but it would have to be Beverly Hills only because I want to go on the fucking trips they go on.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to freaking Atlantic City. I want to go to India and where the
most elaborate situations. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be fun for you. I would love to see that, but that's just my vote. Okay. So what else? Do you think that there is a black cloud for other opportunities if you're on a series? What do you think?
I got this question. I think it was phrased differently. It was like, do you think there's like a negative, like if you're a housewife, is there
if you're a housewife is what they're saying, I think.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that it's like a stigma? It can be. And I've run into it a few times. There was a time that I was invited to a fashion show and then the publicist found out I was a housewife and she was like, no, we don't allow housewives. And I was like, what? You're just a fake celeb. Okay.
Well, no, it's just because I understand because there was some rumors of some people behaving badly.
And so they didn't want any sort of nonsense going on.
Yeah. And it's like, unfortunately now housewives are known for drama and everything. But what I think people do for the most part is if they don't watch the show, there is definitely a stigma attached that we're all crazy bitches.
Right, they only see the epic clips of like the table flips and all that stuff. And
but if you watch, you know who's who, you know who's normal, you know who's out of their mind, you know who would start trouble, you know who would be a diva and demand things. And I think if people watched and know me, they would like
they would know you're
I'm just gonna be flying under the radar and appreciate where I am. And
you're not like the table flipping type.
Well, no, but directly. I mean, we love table flippers.
Obviously.
Shout out Teresa.
Well, they haven't gotten you to flip a table yet. We should say everybody has it in them.
Like, I think there was a time like I think Ramona was not welcome at something because she was like being a diva and demanding something. I remember.
So it can be like, it can be a certain stigma, but overall it gives you a good opportunity. I think, right?
There was like a fundraising thing back in the day that I was invited to and then disinvited because Ramona had gone the day before me and acted poorly. This is what I'm thinking of. Ooh. And then the woman who was in charge of it said, no. I watched Dina's calm. She's not going to do anything.
Oh my gosh. So you remember that. And then did you feel like that you were being unfairly judged because of your
Yes,
position on the show.
I
Like, that's not
was.
how I am.
I was.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it gets you in a lot of doors too, because
Yeah,
people
true.
love the Housewives. So a lot of things are like, obviously when I'm doing press for something else, I'll always get it because I'm gonna,
Yeah.
be able to talk about Housewives. So I
Right.
don't bite the hand that feeds me.
Yeah. Well, so, okay. That's
fed
fair.
me. The hand that
True,
fed me.
true. Somebody asks, actually speaking about how you claim you're so calm, but someone here says, why do you lose your temper on negative comments?
Okay. So
Do you? I guess I've seen you snap back a few times, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but that's what
Like,
people
not in a
don't
rude
understand.
way.
Like, this is how I am. Here's my phone. And they're like, oh, this. I'm like,
And like,
oh,
if you
bitch.
have the time and you happen to see something funny or stupid, then you might like respond to it, like just like snarky.
Yeah, and they don't understand. I'm not coming out there like,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
kind of
not
like laughing and being a wise ass about it.
Yeah.
So to them, again, that's when you get in trouble when you're texting a conversation. It's all the tone. So always know when you see something nasty, it's coming across with a wise ass sense of humor. Very rarely do I lose my temper
over social media.
Yeah, or even in general, you know me. I don't hardly ever do it.
Yeah, I've never seen you.
But I mean, I think there's one or
temper.
two times that I was like, motherfucker, whatever. But
Like, obviously,
normally it's
so
like,
does it hurt your feelings if people
no,
say like
I would,
mean things, or
want,
no, you're over
no,
it?
I want people to ask themselves why they feel the need to do it. And that's why
I never get that either. Like, it's
Yeah.
so, I mean,
just want them to
honestly, I
say,
think
like-
it's kind of a thrill, I think, to just be a troll, because like, you're like literally talking directly to
Yeah,
somebody.
but what is that about yourself
famous.
that makes you feel good about?
It's a thrill. I don't know. I've never like trolled a random person, but I think the idea of like celebrities, or even like, people that have platforms of any sort that have these social media accounts, you have direct access to them in a way that like historically we never would have had. You
Understood.
couldn't call Tom Cruise up, but like
Understood.
now you can just like directly, maybe even get under their skin, which is kind of crazy. So I think people like just feel a weird thrill or a real like sense of some sort
This
of.
is why I love human nature. Like I love
Yeah,
to, like,
I mean, it's a
get
very
into it.
interesting like interaction, because I've seen like people troll like celebs, and they'll say like very rude things, and even the Kardashians will talk about how it does take a toll on you, because
Yeah.
it can affect you if you read it and
Yeah.
you're like, it's, even though you know what they're doing, it still can hit like a
Of course it
sensitive
is.
spot.
Of course it is.
But people do it, I think, because it's easy, and also it's just like
I respond
thrill.
to everyone. If someone's going to take the time
Oh, you
out,
do?
I do. I'll either heart it or give them a little heart. Like,
that's nice.
I acknowledge everyone
So
who
see,
takes
yeah,
the
that's
time
exactly
to
it.
acknowledge
Like,
me.
people are,
So
it's
that comes
interactive.
the good and the bad. And the bad ones, I like to challenge them. Like, what is it about? Especially like, oh, you look so different now. Like, why does it make you feel better to say you liked my old nose better? Like, what about you?
Why do you care?
Like, but like, what made you say, oh, I'm going to tell her, like, do you think that's something that someone would want to hear? Or like, does it make you feel better in that minute? So I want people to ask themselves these questions, because I'm all about growth. And I think the more people, and then maybe somebody will respond and they'll be like, oh, fuck, why did I do that?
Yeah, maybe they can actually like they see that it affects like a real person, and like that you have a real response. Like they're not just like posting it just for the sake of like, making themselves laugh. It's kind of like, you would hope that people would reconsider like being so cruel.
Yeah. So that's why I do
physical
it.
comments on people. That's kind of like taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
But I guess you put yourself out there. That's what they would say.
Yes, exactly.
So-
But I'm going to challenge you and ask you why. I understand why someone would go on someone's page and say something positive, because it's good vibes and it comes back to you tenfold. But to say something negative, I just want you to think about, what is it about yourself? Is there something about yourself that you're not happy with your looks?
What do you think people do it? Why do you think people troll online?
I think it's some kind of disappointment in themselves that they need to project. So it makes themselves feel better. Like, if
like this bitch is famous and she doesn't deserve it. She had a different nose once.
Oh,
like that?
Or just like, maybe they're not happy with their nose. So it makes them feel better to make fun of someone else's, or maybe they're insecure with their looks. So to bring someone else's looks down.
So it's just like a very basic, like psychology.
Yeah.
101 sort of thing. Like,
and my question to the angry ones is like, why are you so angry? Like, I like to just like tap, like, what's going on in there?
I know.
Look at
there's so
this.
much to that whole social media side of it. I think that people like get like, and I feel like that with Twitter, like Twitter is just like a cesspool of people like basically confronting each other. Like it seems like
much.
Because it's like, it's worse than even just like a Instagram where you have pictures. At least it's like just negativity. So you don't feel like you're negative online. You just feel like you've responded to people that have said things, and you've tried to challenge them and make them think about maybe that's not the best way to interact.
Mhm.
That's fair. Well, that was all the questions. Do you have
Okay.
anything else you want to share with anybody?
Do you have any other, I mean, I have a million more questions, but I thought like we'd keep it narrowed down to just a few. Do you have any housewife questions you want to ask?
Housewife questions.
this is the
So
housewife
have you been watching? Have you been keeping up with like New Jersey Housewives? Like you said,
No.
you didn't really watch the reunion.
I don't watch TV. I keep on saying
I
that. And if
know,
I'm gonna watch
same.
TV, like seriously, and listen, Bravo, I love you. If I'm gonna watch TV, it's gonna be something that I'm watching at night, obviously, because it's the only time. And before I go to bed, I don't want to fill my head with something that either would upset me, or like I like to put on like Grace and Frankie or something like
Something
that.
light, like something more. Yeah.
So I'm not triggered at all. You know, Housewives, I think would trigger me in more ways than one. And I just not something that I want to like bring into my dream state.
That's not the last conversations you want in your mind before you go to bed. Okay. So you're not, so I know, I feel like I'm so behind on all the housewife stuff too.
I mean, we tried on Latte Larry's. We said we were going to do a housewife.
But you didn't answer enough questions. So we had to scrap it.
Well, no, we never watched.
We didn't watch. Because you didn't want to talk bad about the people.
Well, I mean,
and that was the whole sport of the whole thing. Okay. We wanted to trash them a bit.
This is why I don't make a good housewife. I'm like, why do I want to talk bad about them?
But maybe some people like yearn in some way for like a nicer housewife. Like maybe the fighting is fun, but sometimes people want to see like fabulous lifestyle.
I mean, they never last. The ones like, I know it's like Teddy Mellencamp. She was a nice one. How many seasons did she last?
I thought I didn't know she was gone. She seemed like she was nice. Yeah,
well, that's right. It. I think nice people just don't last because people just want. I'm not that. Well, again, my friends are on there. They're nice, but they're confrontational. If you're more grounded and looking for like common sense and stuff like that, you're just not going to make a good housewife. You're not. They want people who fly off the handle, who have bad tempers, who are willing to do anything to be out there. And this is how they're picking.
It's a proven concept. Okay.
Yes. They look at your social media. If you're really putting yourself out there, they're like, this one wants. She'll do anything,
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously that's like kind of the idea of the series. So so it's more of like a hope for some people that you'd be a housewife again, but in reality, it's probably not your future.
I don't think I make a good housewife. I don't.
Maybe another show for you. That would be cool.
Maybe. I mean, I'm quick with a one-liner. That's why I make a good housewife. And I am a wise ass. So I kind of like,
so you can like,
I don't know.
You can hold your own.
Yeah, I can just a little time that I did watch Beverly Hills. Like, I think I was wondering why everyone was so afraid to confront Erica, like from the very beginning. Even when I think I tweeted once, like, why is everyone afraid to go up against this woman? And now all this stuff is coming out. Like, I think I could handle a situation like that in a way that it needs to be
with
handled.
her. Like you could have seen her for what she was from the beginning.
No, I think there's a way to go at her without attacking her, but again,
making her standing up to her, not letting her just call the shots, basically.
Yeah, or like making her think, like, why is it you're acting this way? Like,
I saw that she had a tagline that was like, I've got nothing to lose, and that's what makes me dangerous. And I'm thinking, doesn't she actually have a lot to lose still? I'm like, you got a lot to lose. Like, actually,
as an attorney,
I'm just saying.
And it's very difficult for all these victims to be out there and to see her still in glam. And
and like, even if you're like, when you have situations like that, where like, okay, she may or may not have directly benefited. Like, there's no way to like unravel all of it and how it all connected to like let her have these platforms and all this. Never would have happened in the first place in most likely scenario if all these things hadn't taken place by her husband. Just saying. So it is a bad look for a lot of people, but I think that's why they like her as a housewife in a sense, because it's controversial.
Like
but how far is too far on the controversy?
I understand she needs the money at this point, but I would maybe show up in sweats.
maybe hide the designer stuff under the bed for a little bit, just in case it comes snooping.
Just look a little bit more humble.
It's an interesting scenario, but I think you're right. Like, I saw that she's back and she's like, I got nothing to lose here. Like, Well, maybe you do.
Yeah. It's very interesting. So anyway, I think I would have been a good housewife to be involved in that situation because I would have been asking those kind of questions. Like,
I think
maybe you should take off those earrings, Erica.
yeah, just kind of like being like trying to coach her through
not
like
in
the
a nice
aftermath.
way, not in a nice way,
like
but like
like
be a little humble, like,
yeah, like just
and also there's a part, I'm gonna get myself in trouble with who again. I got nothing to lose.
This bitch got nothing to lose. Put her on Beverly Hills.
No, I was saying I lost my train of thought now. Oh, Tom, there's a part of me, even though he did something so fucked up.
Yeah.
He was like so desperate to keep her happy, maybe.
Oh, that's so true.
And he took her in. Here she was, this cocktail waitress, and maybe more. I don't know.
But that was a long time ago.
I know, but and there's nothing wrong with that. He took her in, he took her son in and gave her this like amazing life and hyped her up in every way he played a video of her music video at like one of his lawyers.
Oh yeah, he's a proud hubby.
Yeah. But anyway, he was like her hype man for so long and like funded it in so many ways. So there's a part of me that thinks he was like, I'm not going to lose this friggin' girl. I love her and I'm doing everything I can. And I'm losing my mind and I gotta do it this way, and did a lot of fucked up things. And there was a part of me that been like, you know what, this man fucked up big time. What he did was terrible, but I'm staying by his side because he stood by my side when I was down and out.
I see what you're saying. I think that she has maybe some culpability in some of the ways that it played out, but I don't know legally. I'm just saying the way it appears. Nothing
legally. I'm just saying he really was a ride or die for her and her son. And the second that something went dark, she took off. So
yeah, that's
it would have been different if she was like, listen, I'm staying by his side. What I think he did was completely terrible, but he was there for me and my son, and I'm going to be there for him in his old age and while he's losing his mind. And here's my fucking earrings. Let's try to make this right.
Yeah, where can we start? How about with these diamonds? No, I feel like
innocent and have
I think
compassion for the victims.
A lot of people probably share your perspective on this because it's a very uncomfortable thing, to know that there's all these victims out there that say that they got stiffed big time, and then she's still not taking responsibility for that, or even really acknowledging them in some ways.
And I get that because
she doesn't feel that it's her problem. She didn't do it. It's him. He screwed her. He screwed them the same way. So yeah, I think there is a lot that maybe we'll tune in this season to the Beverly Hills Housewives. Maybe she'll make a case for herself.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, okay.
I probably shouldn't have said half of that stuff. I feel sorry, Eric. I don't know you from Adam. Let's see, this is when it's getting blurry. I think we're losing battery. So we're probably.
All right. So the housewife questions have been answered. And for now, you and Dave won't be on the Housewives as far as we know.
Definitely not going to be on
we'll
Beverly
leave
Hills.
open the possibility. You might be on now.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.